Marty Lay, Southwest Eureka. And still here.
Kevin Jenkins with Mad River.
Any other guests at this table?
I guess, sure. Yes, I have with me, pleased to, my better half, Eva Marsh.
Right.
And then we have our exchange student from Brazil, Laura Costa.
Oh, great. Back table, any visitors or guests up there?
Yes, I'm Ian's daughter, and this is our exchange student, Jules.
Welcome, Miss Daughter. Back here. Dave Navarre, yes, from principal at Arcata High School. He's my guest this morning. So welcome, Dave. Good morning. And go ahead.
Vanessa Griffin. She's my guest.
All right, good to see you here. How about the front table?
Two guests, Travis and Seth. We'll meet a little bit later.
All right, sounds good.
I have our guest speaker today, interim athletic director at Humboldt State, Duncan Robbins.
Sophie Salcedo, president of Birthday Bud.
Full house. See your anniversary. I don't see Dan here today, but he did have an anniversary, so if you catch him, we'll talk to him about that. Last week we didn't have any birthdays, so that's too bad. The cleanup, 255. Is Carol here this morning? Is anyone here that was at the cleanup and wants to talk about it? It was really successful. I was there and we had a great turnout.
I counted about 20 people, and actually we had it so well manned we could, walk one way, and when we met the crew coming at us, we just swapped sides and came back, so it actually went real fast. And our section wasn't particularly dirty. I was with two Interact students from Arcata High School. They were, having fun and examining each item and deciding how it might have arrived at that point in time. Had a story for every piece. So anyway, it was a fairly good time was had by all. So thanks for those who came out.
Yeah, Scott, you want to say anything?
Yeah, just a notice to people that have younger people. We had to turn away about a handful of the interactors because they were under 16. So it is a requirement from Caltrans, and we don't want to be caught out there with kids underage. So we have our permit. So that was one of the things that happened out there. I mean, they had 85 kids in their interact group, and I think we got 20 of them on our thing. So there's a pretty amazing group of kids that we have coming up in that group. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Then we had Rita's afterwards.
Rita's afterwards. Yeah.
Thank you, Scott.
So yeah, we'll do it again here in 3 months, I want to say. So feel free to participate when that comes up. Let's see, your Rise events. The Costa Kids Walk is coming up. Rachel's coordinating that. Walk for Alzheimer's is also coming up, and myself and Melinda are heading that up. So talk to us. And then we have the HSU homecoming tailgate deal coming up here real soon. So that's going to be a blast. You'll hear more about that the coming week. So look at that. It's going to be a good time. Taste of the holidays. Lisa, take it away.
So Taste of the Holidays is set for November 16th, and we had our first meeting on Wednesday night, and we've got a great committee. With those on my committee, will you stand, please? Scott, Rachel. So Scott's doing publicity, Rachel's doing ticket sales, Rena is doing decorations, AJ is doing raffle, Craig is doing Road Rack Interactors, Melinda's helping with Scott with doing publicity, and anyway, we're getting it all together, and they will probably need help on their team, so the more the merrier, and I'm going to send out an email probably in a couple of weeks in reference to starting regular meetings each week until we get it. And everyone picked up some tickets today at the front desk. I'm hoping picked up an envelope.
Almost everyone.
And check off your name, and if anyone didn't, please talk to Rachel, okay? And she's going to mail them out for those that did not pick them up in the next couple weeks. And I think we have something special.
Pardon?
Do we have something special?
Something before you go to
Yes.
if you've seen it on Facebook, if you haven't been on Facebook yet, please go on Facebook. We posted the fact that we have a webpage and ticket sales online. Please share the poster, share the fact that you can go online and buy tickets, and just talk it up. Thank you.
Right.
Okay.
Maestro.
Say that. Micro is probably about as far away from me as because that doesn't mean master. Maestro means mistress. We don't want to talk about that. There, that happened last time. Yeah, well, at least I'm consistent. All right, so we do have a taste of the holiday song. I want you to know, Carl Oxley is a former secretary of this club. He moved to Chico many years ago. But before he left, he and I huddled together and came up with this song based on the old Bob Hope song, Thanks for the Memory. And as I was telling Lisa earlier, as many years as I've been doing this song, I still have trouble with another part, so it's going to be a sing-along. Craig Newman suggested that we have this on screen, so you know what the hell I'm talking about for a change. And anyway, we usually sing afterwards because there are some things that are, well, you'll see. You'll see what I usually sing afterwards. Okay, let's see. Taste of the holidays, the stale hors d'oeuvres and beer, the season of good cheer. I thought I'd have my tickets sold, but they're still sitting here. We love it so much. Taste of the holidays, our club big whoop-de-doo. We'll try to push it through with tickets draped around my neck. I'll sell until I'm blue. We love it so much. This is the part I have. This part's always an adventure. Table to table we'll wander the community center all night. Then later on we'll ponder, was it worth all the time? Did we make one thin dime? Yes! Taste of the holidays. Let's put back chairs before we stagger across the floor. We'll sing and shout and talk about next year. Let's do one more. We love it so much.
All right, thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Dick, and everyone else for participating in Taste of Holidays. It's going to be another fun year with that. So that said, Izzy, winner of the week, yes. Take it away.
So, last weekend, Mark Miscohen, he is the counselor from one of the youth clubs. He took 4 exchange students to Trinity Lake, including Jules. Yeah. It's a really beautiful lake, and we had lots of fun. We went wakeboarding and kneeboarding, and we had lots of fun. But yeah, also a few fails. And we also had a nice campfire. Yeah. And this week, for the kinetic sculpture race, we made papier-mâché. Yeah, this was also fun. And yeah, today I'm dressed up for the homecoming week. Today's the 80s day. Yeah, this t-shirt is from my host mom. She graduated in 1980.
Great. Thank you, Izzy. See, Terry, please.
do that, I'm going off program for just a momentito. This past Rotary year, one of our own was recognized by the district as Rotarian of the Year. And I don't know if you got appropriate bling, but if you come up and get this Rotarian of the Year pin, Lori, I'd really appreciate that. I know, there you go, okay. So it's always fun to have a Paul Harris Fellow presentation, and it's really fun to skip a generation or two. So Karen has made her second grandson a Paul Harris Fellow. If you'd come up and get his bling, please. He couldn't be with us here in person, but here he is. And that's his personality. Thank you.
That's right. All right, we have craft talk. Oh, go ahead.
I want to add, his name is Everett, by the way.
That's my fault. Let's see, where's Rachel? There you are. Will you please come up and
You can learn about me today. Okay, that's my name that my parents gave me. It's still my name. My parents would probably like my last name to change by now, but... So since I'm an accountant, my speech is going to be pretty boring. We're going to base it off of balance sheets. So talk about my life as assets, liabilities, and equities. So, I'm just kidding. I'm laughing, in case you guys didn't. So here's some pictures growing up. My sister's in a lot of them, and so she can just skip her craft talk almost after. But I was born in a small town called Arcata, California. Still here. And so my parents got divorced when I was 2 and Melinda was 3. And then my mom got remarried when we were 5 and 6, I think, yeah. So it's been, so here's some pictures of us. We were actually in the newspaper for that one. So here's my mom's wedding when I was about 5 years old. So she married Andy, my stepdad, and he had 2 boys. So we were kind of a mini Brady Bunch there. And we switched houses every Friday. So me and Melinda would be with my dad, and then we'd be with our brothers and stepdad. And then I have to tell you, since you guys are all my friends now, I have to tell you something pretty bad. I realized this morning I was in the shower, I was like, I don't think I put one picture of my dad on there. I'm a terrible daughter. So I added this picture this morning of my dad at the top right. Don't tell him. So we spent a lot of time growing up on the ranch. My grandparents had a ranch in Blacksburg called Amos Ranch. So these are pictures from that. We rode quads and picked bullfrogs out of ponds and hung out with a lot of animals. So here's more pictures of the ranch. And the middle ones, actually, my grandparents were the first people in California to bring Watusis. So that's a Watusi there, which is pretty cool. And then here's just more pictures of me being an awkward child. Good old 80s hair. So I attended Pacific Union and played basketball, volleyball, and went to Arcata High. Woohoo! Woohoo! Had the best accounting teacher over there, Dr. Breyer. I played softball in high school all 4 years, and volleyball all 4 years. And growing up, I did a little competitive dance, jazz dancing. I didn't put any of those pictures because they're actually awkward. And then the top right is a perfect attendance certificate, because the fun fact is I had perfect attendance kindergarten through 12th grade, so never missed a day of school. So didn't get sick, didn't have chickenpox. Overachiever. I didn't want to have to catch up. Also, I started playing the violin in 3rd grade, so I played that until high school. I played 9th grade, so I was in the orchestra for several years. Here's my niece, my little niece. That's my prom dress for the senior prom. It was out of control. It was like you could stand it up without being in it. It was so fluffy. And then this is a college graduation picture. So I ended up going to I had to pay my way through college, so, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I went to CR, played some softball, and then transferred into Humboldt State. And I still didn't know what I wanted to do, so I was like, I'll do business and I'll be management emphasis. And then I realized I don't want to manage people at all. So, and Lori was such a great teacher, and I was like, debit to go credits makes sense. So I decided to do accounting. And then my senior year, I ended up getting a job with Jackson and Eklund. So, and at the same time, I was also a server at Avalon Restaurant, and then I worked at Murphy's Markets as a butcher. And so I had 3 jobs, going to school full time. And so that was an interesting time. Here's a picture from Avalon, if you recognize the guy in the middle. The weirdo. So we worked, that's how I met Dustin. Yeah, this was a James Bond party.
There's actually a helicopter back there.
Yeah, there's a helicopter in the restaurant back there. A fake one. And we probably worked there like 5 years?
5 years,
6
yeah.
years? Yeah, so I worked at Murphy's 8 years of my life, and then I've been at Jackson and Eklund 8 years now. So in college, I ended up doing a summer program in Switzerland. So that's in front of the United Nations building. So that was kind of an amazing experience for me to spend some time out there, and then we did some time in Sicily. So here's Jackson and Eklund team. So I've been there, 8 years now, and I'm an enrolled agent. So I'm certified by the IRS, so I have federal certification, so I can go anywhere in the United States and practice tax. So like a CPA, like accounting is to a CPA or law is to an attorney, taxes are an EA, so enrolled agent. And then this is my man, Casey. We've probably been dating 3 years, something like that. I don't keep dates. Maybe he does, I don't know. But he's here. Yeah, he's not here, so we can talk. And he's, what's that?
The video will be.
Yeah, I'm not telling him about that, he doesn't know. And he's got kind of a unique job around here, so he's an organic farmer, but he's kind of a different kind of organic farmer than what we're all used to. So he actually grows real tomatoes. and so his family has a stand out at Pepperwood after the Giants corn crib. And they have Serbinsky Family Farm, so they sell at the farmers markets. They're known for their sweet corn. And then they also have an organic dairy farm. They sell their milk to organic milk. So, hobbies. I like fishing a lot. Here's some salmon when we were allowed to salmon fish. And then there's me fishing. I know, I love it. Here's some lingcod. These are all out of either Eureka or Trinidad. Here's the halibut I caught out of Trinidad. There's some black cod. Another smaller halibut, and then that's a green ling or blue ling cod, and then that's a vermilion. So the red fish is actually in one of the baskets for Final Friday, so it's frozen. It's filleted and frozen. There's actually some fresh fish in there too that my mom caught yesterday, so but there's ice packs. And then I like to just try everything once. Not very good at some of them, but there's just the lake and surfing and wakeboarding and snowboarding. And as most of you know, I'm obsessed with Rotaract, so I helped start North Bay Rotaract in 2014, and I was from Lost Coast Rotaract. So here's just some pictures from that. Relay for Life, our sweater party, CASA. I tried to come up with a list of every charity I'm working with, and it was too much work, so I stopped. Highway cleanup, Bowl for Kids' Sake. That was the Crabs Day with the Noon Rotary. Toys for Tots, some promo. This was a swap project you guys did at Boys and Girls Club that we helped paint the shed. Some other hobbies are I like to do crafts, so there's a sign I made. I'm on an adult league volleyball team with my sister. Woo! I haven't won a game yet, but I'd like to, yeah. And we're also on a softball team with Tomas and Melinda, co-ed softball team. So, and then I like to take goats from tailgating events every once in a while. So it's a true story. The HSU tailgating, they had a petting zoo, and the goat was so cute. I named him Henry already, and they're like, "Do you want to take him with you?" I was like, "Well, sure." A few beers in, sure. I'll take him home. So I had Henry for a week, and then I gave him to a farm in Philbrook. Another thing, I'm also a man eater, so I snack on men occasionally. I'm just kidding. That was my 30th birthday, I believe. I like to play with food, so here's some things I've just played with food. I also like to hunt, so I've been hunting for 14 years now. So here's some precious deer. And then this bottom one is actually from last year, and it's in one of the baskets too. So there's some ground burger, deer burger. And I like to try to make everything, or try to make everything that I've had eaten before. So, you know, make spaghetti with deer, or like canned foods, or like make cheese from scratch. I just like to see if I can do it first. So my stepdad and my grandpa are the ones who taught me how to hunt. So there's my grandpa. And then if you're ever at the Elks Lodge in Eureka, the antlers, elk antlers above the fireplace are actually my grandpa's. So here's some of the stuff I've canned over the years: some dilly beans, cauliflower carrots, smoked tuna, green chili sauce, more dilly beans. Those are some beets from Mom's garden, corn, relish, sriracha, marinated mushrooms, zucchini salsa. And some of these are in the basket too. Zucchini salsa is in one of them. Jam. There's mozzarella cheese from scratch, pickles. And most of the vegetables come from my mom's garden or my boyfriend's garden. So, and then here's my motto: you must be the change you wish to see in the world. So, any questions?
Do you ever sleep?
Yeah. I don't prefer downtime. I'm not really a Netflix girl.
So with that, the membership committee is proud to announce that Rachel has satisfied her requirements to earn her blue badge as an official.
Sorry, hopefully it wasn't too long.
All right, up next, AJ, why don't you come here and take the reins.
So, fellow Rotarians, it is my privilege and pleasure again today to conduct another induction ceremony to bring in a new member into the Rotary Club of Arcata Sunrise. Vanessa was proposed for membership by Bob Goodman. Your fellow Rotarians believe you to hold those qualities of head and heart which fit you to interpret and impart the spirit of Rotary throughout our community. I now ask Vanessa and Bob.
I don't like how much he's smiling.
So Rotary is a volunteer organization of business and professional leaders united worldwide to provide humanitarian service and help build goodwill and peace. Active club members meet weekly to plan service projects, discuss community and international issues, and enjoy fellowship. Rotary encourages high ethical standards in all vocations while striving to live and work by the four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships, and will it be beneficial to all concerned? Vanessa, we now proceed to admit you into the membership in the Rotary Club of Arcata Sunrise and to the friendship of Rotary throughout the world. Our motto is service above self, and the object of Rotary Clubs is to encourage and foster this ideal as a basis of worthy enterprise. And having participated in many of our fundraisers over the years, I would like to thank you for your shared effort, or your having shared in this effort. You've been approved for membership because we believe you to be a worthy representative of your vocation. You are interested in the ideals of Rotary, and you are willing to do your share in translating these ideals into action. You've agreed to accept the obligations of membership in this club and obey this club's constitution and bylaws. I now have the pleasure of asking your sponsor to pin your membership pin, the emblem of the Rotary wheel, which we hope you will wear with the pride of being a Rotarian, but also with the humility of service. And then at this time, I'd like to present you with your red badge, the symbol of a new club member. As a new member, there's a path you will follow as you achieve your blue badge status, and I know you'll achieve this in a timely manner. The new member packet contains information for you about our Rotary Club and about Rotary International. You will have many questions in the coming weeks, and I encourage you to seek the answers from our sponsor, members of the membership committee, or club president, or any club member. It is my pleasure on behalf of the board of directors and the entire club membership to welcome you to the Rotary Club of Arcata Sunrise. I'm happy and honored to present to you our newest club member, Vanessa Griffin. As is our tradition, please come up to shake her hand and welcome her to the club.
It's a big group. Yeah, we're gonna run out of time. Yes,
Sure.
No, we just rented another yeah, because I'm up there so much. It's nice though, it's by the, I have an ocean
Yes.
I hate public speaking, so I don't know how it came out. It's kind of black out. I was having fun. In my own little world up there.
Suma's going to announce our guest speaker today. Go ahead, take it away, Suma.
All right, Mr. Robbins graduated from Harvard with a BA and earned his MBA from the Stanford Graduate School of Business. Mr. Robbins moved with his young family to Arcata in 1998 to lead Yakima as its CEO through an organization transformation that led to an era of rapid growth and a lot of local pride. He currently lives in McKinleyville with his wife. Mr. Robbins is the current interim athletic director at Humboldt State University. He has also been serving as chair of the HSU Advancement Board. Mr. Robbins has had a long career as a CEO and consultant, often hired by boards, investors, or owners to lead change in organizations during challenging times.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you. As many of you know who are following any of the local news, we have a big challenge ahead of us at HSU. What I'd like to talk to you primarily about is the challenge we have at HSU Athletics, to make sure that all of you are aware, so that if you can give or help, at least you're aware of how to do it. I'll try and whip through this as quickly as possible. I'll give you some background. I'll tell you why I took on this challenge, how we got here, some options, constraints, football economics, and then the solution. Just as background, HSU right now is in financial stress, budget deficit of about $5 million, underfunded. In 2016, after 2 years of widening deficits, athletics was asked for a balanced budget and a 5-year plan. This year, we're looking at about a $900,000 deficit in athletics. So why did I accept the challenge? It's not because I like painting a target on me. I know this is a very divisive issue in this community. People who are 100% for saving all sports, those who are concerned about other aspects. But I look at it from an HSU and a community standpoint, and the president asked if I would come in and see what potential solutions are out there for this. Just as a reminder, HSU is brings in over $200 million to this community a year. 85% of HSU's expenses are salaries and benefits, so many of the people you know or your customers are HSU paid. Students-wise, they rent houses, buy food, and other services, 7,500 students. We're probably the largest legal marketer of the brand out there, and brings in millions in tourist dollars. So athletic programs, in my mind, is important to both HSU and the community, and any loss of those programs, I think, will hit us culturally as well as hit us with people coming out here and getting to know our brand. Those who have had kids play sports, you know, you learn a lot about other universities through sports themselves. So we need a successful HSU, and that's why I took on this position. It's why I chair the foundation board up there, and it's why I fill in as a guest lecturer whenever I can in management and finance. Why are we here? When I look at root cause, one of the root causes, the squiggle at the top, is birth rates. We had the Depression of World War II where there was a dip in birth. Baby boomers, many in this room, there was a spike in birth. Baby boomers, because right after the war, a lot of people started families. Gen X, that I'm happy to say I just squeak into, we had a dip in the number of people born, and then we had the echo, which is the baby boomers' kids. The echo has peaked and moved on. 20 years after that is what you get as college students, and a lot of that echo has already moved through college. So we're now in a dip cycle when it comes to colleges. So I can tell you right off at the root cause, we're down on the college age. See where that exploding thing is? We're on a little bit of a down cycle. That's the way I look at it. So our enrollment was expected to drop, in my view, as an outside consultant. The problem is that if you look at these two bar graphs, they represent the number of college-bound students, just arbitrarily sized, during the peak and the trough. Let's say there's a 10% drop in the number of students wanting to attend college. There's the same number in the red lower bar here of first picks for best college to go to for place or brand. And there's the same number of opportunities for students there. There's the same number of opportunities for first pick for low-price schools, those that you can commute to locally in your community. We don't have a big community here, so we'd be considered a second choice pick. That means that that's 10% drop is going to be felt more in those second choice schools, which means we're going to, if we don't fight for our market share, we may have a bigger drop here than many other schools out there. So I want all the community to be aware of that, first of all. Yes, we could do in the enrollment area at HSU a better job. We could do as to attract people. The community, quite frankly, could do a better job of helping us retain people. If you want to know how you can help, smile at a student. But we also have a bigger fight on our hand in general. So within that, that's the background. Here's what athletics budget looks like. 2015-16, we had a budgeted loss of $250,000. 16-17, $500,000. This year, 17-18, $900,000. Very simple. Expenses keep rising because we have mandated expenses. We have labor rates that keep going up in government, even though we're cutting everywhere we possibly can. And our revenues are going down because we have less students. That's as simple as it is, even though we're trying to cut as many expenses as possible. In my view, the trend was predictable and obvious, and I've been telling people there's a reason why I'm the third athletics director in 3 years, because this is a very difficult problem to try and solve. So, people are asking, well, where do you get your revenues from? Well, 3 different areas. In the middle, the biggest bucket is student fees. Okay, student fees are where students literally pay a fee, and a major portion of that fee goes to athletics. That's how we are funded. That was changed in 2007, 2008 during the Great Recession. Roland Richmond and the athletic department managed to pull off a scenario where we used to be funded a little bit of student fees and a lot of general funds. General funds are what is used to pay for all the academic programs out there. And to save academic programs, not cut anything, they shifted the burden of athletics directly on the students and student fees. Well, we could maybe go ahead and raise student fees. The problem is we're the second highest in the CSU for student fees, so that's not really an option. We, with the huge help from all of you, generate a little under $1 million for athletics. Almost all of that, 99% of that goes to scholarships. So that brings students here, which is good for the community, but it doesn't help our operating budget, which is what we're talking about here. So our operating budget is where we dip into state funds, just under 900, or just around 900,000, or just around $1 million, which is the rest there. And by the way, we'd love to get more from HSU. The problem is they have to cut $5 million while we're asking for more. So we have a fiscal issue here. So some of our constraints: internal HSU considerations, student fees controlled by the students, general funds. We'll need to take it from other programs, expenses. We've cut everything possible internal. We're now at the point where, with all of the compliance issues we're mandated to do, we have very few staff, and if we cut anybody else, it'll be difficult for us to stay compliant, which means we put the entire program at risk. External demands: the CSU has a mandate that graduation rates improve, so we are spending more and more money in athletics and making sure our students graduate on a timely basis. NC2A Division II requires 10 sports, 5 men or 5 women, or 6 women, 4 men. Title IX, we have to match student population to the number of people participating, and the scholarships and the expenses. We're at 45 women, 55 men right now. The trend is going to 40% men, 60% women. That's where the rest of the CSU is. So we have a lot of constraints to think about. The CCAA, which is our primary conference, requires 10 sports. Those 10 sports that we get to choose from don't include football or crew. We have 12 sports. Those are the 2 that sit outside of the 10 we need to be in to stay within the CC2A and stay in Division II. Let's cut the number of games. That's a way to reduce our cost. We are mandated to stay in these conferences and stay Division II to have a certain number of games. So we have a lot of constraints, a lot of politics, a lot of issues we're trying to deal with. So it's quite complex. Debunking a myth. As much as I want to save every program, football is the most exposed, which is not a great thing for many in this community to hear, because it's such a rallying point for this community and a wonderful place for us to come together. But it does not make money for us. It actually loses money. Every sport in the D2 world loses money. Every athletic program in D2 loses money. NC2A makes all of its money probably in the top 50 sports. Every other organization in college sports loses money. So, economics of football, the net cost is $1 million. We bring in about $400,000. Most of that goes to scholarships. We have about $1.4 million in expenses. So, the only solution I could come up with, after having looked at this for quite a while, is to raise $1 million to cover our net deficit. I've managed to work out, at least on campus, a match, if we can match with the community. I need to test this, though, because I don't want anybody to commit $1 until we see if there's an appetite to donate. That wouldn't be fair to anyone, because when you're donating to a 501(c), it's very hard to get that money back out. So that's why we're going with a pledge campaign first, see what the appetite is in the community. $350,000 in pledges by October 9th. That's really our test. and then we go and qualify those pledges, make sure that the politics on campus work. We have all full support from President Rossbacher. But once we get there, hopefully we get there, we can then go on to raise convert those into cash and hopefully get to our 500,000 and keep all of our programs, which HSU would be looking to match. We are looking for the final decision, I call it mid-November. I asked the coach, he'd like whatever pro or con decision to be after the football season. Hopefully we'll go longer than usual, so that's why we say mid-November. Maybe it'll take us a little longer, hopefully, than that. But we start recruiting right after Thanksgiving. So if we have the program, we have to recruit. If we don't have the program, I'm committed to finding these kids a place to play football and be able to free them up legally. Right now, the way this thing works, they can't even talk to another school until we release them. So we have to think about them as well. That's why we're on such a tight time crunch. Next thing I hear is, well, why the hell the rush? Well, I volunteered for this position because no one else would take it. I was asked, would you please? I said, if it's your only shot, I'll take it on. And it has been a very difficult place to be, I'll tell you that. And I thank all of you for allowing me to speak through what we're really, I know it'll take a huge monumental effort for all of you to help us do this, but I'm hoping this will be a test case for how we can come together, HSU and the community, and see what we can do. So thank you. With that, I'll take any questions.
Do you have to repeat this next year?
That's a good question. What we're looking at is asking for pledges for 5 years. I'm the type of person who's no BS, and I want to look kids in the eye and say, we have a plan for 5 years if you're coming here. So that's number one. It's only 1 year of money being collected with pledges out for the other 4 years. So technically, we have to look each other in the eye, or we have to make a lot of phone calls and qualify those pledges every year. So technically, we would be in the same place, but hopefully not major things have happened in people's lives and they could come through on their promises. But yes, technically you would be. Yeah.
Are you going to stick around after the meeting?
Yes.
We're on a little bit of a time crunch here, but
Yep.
thank you so
Wait,
much
really
for
quick,
speaking
though.
today. Okay.
I've got pledge forms. If anybody wants to know.
Let's do the raffle before the auction this time. I learned that last month. So, Sarah, take it away.
What? Say it again, please.
202604.
Right here. Nick, you got it. All right.
I knew it was you.
It's good investment. Get that back.
Two 202-576.
576.
There you go, Randy.
All right, Ian is our guest auctioneer.
Yay.
All right.
Right before the auction, I actually have a success story to share with the club. Very similar to what you're talking about here. It's all about community and rallying support. Last week, your Youth Exchange Committee was basically resigned to hosting one student between the two Arcata clubs. And it has to do with host families. So last week we called on President Dustin. We explained the problem. He jumped right to it. You should have all received an email from him, and most of you have received phone calls already. If you're an exchange student or ever have been an exchange student, please stand. Real quick, we're short on time. Okay. If you've ever hosted or are currently hosting an exchange student, please stand. If you know somebody who has hosted an exchange student or know an exchange student, please stand. This is a program that touches all of us in the community, and the importance of it is such that we really have to use the power of our Rotary network. So I have some thanks to give. Karen Burgesser and Andreas Kraus and Steve, would you please come up to the front? So Karen was one of our first call-ins, and she contacted one of her friends, Emily Davenport, and Emily has stepped up to host for 2018-19. Thank you, Karen. This is a District 5130 Rotary Youth Exchange pin for you. Steve is a multi-time host family and really wanted to host Izzy twice this year. I had to give him some sad news and happy news. We have secured a host family for the third host family for Izzy. So Steve has agreed to share you with another family. Thank you, Steve, for hosting. Where's Andreas?
He was here.
He was here. Okay. Andreas has also stepped up as both a backup host family for this year and also a host family for 2018-19. So we are almost there. We have 2 of the 3 families that we need for our future year. This is actually the best shape we've ever been into going into a youth exchange year. So thank you. Don't let up. Keep asking, because we do need a 3rd family, but we have a year to do it. I know we can do this. Because of all that, we have Travis, who is now able to be our own representative ambassador for the 2018-19 Youth Exchange year. Travis, welcome to our club. Hopefully you haven't been scared away because we're all a little nutty here. Izzy, right over here, happens to go to school with you, and she can introduce you to the other exchange students. We encourage you to get to know them right away. And where's Claire? Claire back here, you met at the interviews. How many teenagers have a panel interview with adults? I mean, that's nuts, but you did very well. Claire is going to be your outbound counselor. She'll be in touch very soon to get you started on your district application. And I actually have a Rotary Sunrise, Arcata Sunrise pin for you. And you'll see these jackets around there and you'll know why you want to collect those. Thank you very much.
So we have more items than we've had all year, and we have less time than we've had all year. So everything's going to go for $100 to start with, and we're going to hurry. So this is an apple pie from Greg Foster. Apple pie, yes? Apple pie? Okay, apple.
You made
it's
this?
warm.
Absolutely.
And Steve will,
It was still warm this morning.
okay, Steve wants it for $100.
Well, you might have competition. $100. What do we have here?
This is a stamping basket. It's got all sorts of wonderful things
I'm
from.
throwing in a $50 gift card to Michael's too. But
And there's a $50 gift card to Michael's, so it's lots of nice rubber stamps, pencils, pens, inks.
Terry, I'll buy it.
So I'm sensing the ghost of a past youth exchange student here. Logan is a $100 guy.
This is a woman who lives Okay, Barbara Browning has made her own tonic water, special 4th ranked in the whole world gin, Fords to go with it, Pellegrino, and there's recipes or a bag.
It's a gin and tonic.
It's a gin and
Gin and tonic kit.
If you've ever had Barbara gin and tonic, it's worth $100.
It's worth $100.
So we have an opening bid at $100. Right back here, Lori. 100 going once. 100 going twice. Sold to Lori for $100.
Right. Thank you for paying attention to me. I really appreciate it. Okay, this is a gorgeous pie dish. This is from Brenda. It has got bakeware, pumpkin measuring spoons, autumn bakeware stamps, leaf cookie cutter, and leaf decorations. Anybody interested in this? Look at that. Lori
We
wants
have
it
Karen,
for
we have Lori, we have 100. Do we have 110? 100 to Lori.
Thank you. Okay, this is going well. Okay, Rachel, are both of these from you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was predicting during your craft talk that in a couple weeks you'll be president, and a couple weeks after that you'll be district governor. So this one is, this is the fish, and there's wine, and
Yeah, it's seafood. So there's 5 dozen, I guess we do 5 dozen oysters from Coast Seafoods, some vermilion, some fresh caught, lean caught in there, and then just there's oyster shucker, butter, garlic, lemon.
so it's a whole fish dinner.
So I just added that up, that's like $150, $180. Do we have 100 to start that bid? $100. She caught some of this herself, Scott, $100. Anybody else, anybody else?
You can go higher than 100.
You can go higher.
You say you couldn't go past that.
150.
150 right here to Dick. 200 to Scott. All right, 200 to Scott. Thank you very much, Scott.
So in keeping with our morning tradition of drinking, this is tequila from Tomas, a whole set of my $200.
What's special about this?
It's actually not tequila, it's a drink.
Oh, sorry.
From Brazil.
Oh,
Even better. With the lime and some sugar, everything you need, the muddler, jars.
I saw the lines, I just thought tequila. Sorry.
In the spirit of Mazara, who was one of our exchange students, and now is old enough to drink these. Terry? We have 200 right here with Kevin.
Okay, I'm not going to go that the rest of the way on that one, but okay. Thank you, Kevin is doing $200. And it didn't really mean he was going to share it with his exchange student. So this is from
Terry, so yeah, I have a bottle of wine, 2 glasses from the Fire and White vase, and a dozen roses.
Okay. Now, it'd be really popular at home tonight. A vase, the wine, and the roses.
Making somebody happy at home is priceless, but $100 over here. Where do you throw it?
So it's,
I think we have to say it.
yeah.
$100.
We have
Lisa
from
didn't work.
Randy, dilly beans, grandma dills, and plum jelly. Lovely preserved. Randy's good at this.
You can throw in those 2 zucchini salsas and pickled beets too.
Oh, I want that. Okay, we have.
Did I hear $100?
I think you did.
Okay, we have a delightful selection of canned goods. Those are heats and sweets, right? Okay, Raj.
Going with the $100.
$100 to Raj. Anybody else? Go quick. Raj, $100.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Okay, also from Brenda, something autumnal, a gratitude basket to Artist Canvas, Artist Paints. So if you're in the mood, craft boxes for designing autumn stickers, Mod Podge. And so you can, some of it's already crafted, and some you can craft yourself.
And this was made with Janice in mind.
This was made with Janice in mind.
This is made with Janice in mind.
Do we have 100 opening? Tammy, right here, $100.
Thank you.
I'm trading crafts for
Tammy.
crafts.
We have from Siva wind chimes. Oh, they sound nice.
Another priceless thing, music in the yard. Do we have an opening bid of 100? Bid of 100. Do we have 75? 50? Is that 50, AJ? $100, AJ. Thank you very much.
Okay, now we have the future president's other basket here. And this is deer.
So this is an Italian date night basket. It has venison burger, elk Italian sausage. I threw in some backstrap, and then some pasta noodles, garlic bread, Italian wine, Parmesan cheese, and some veggies for my mom's card. Oh, and my mom's marinara.
We have 100, we have 100. Okay, we've got 5 bids for 100. So, 150, Allison. 200 over here to Nick.
225.
225.
250.
300.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
Plus you said it's Italian.
Even
Okay, 300 going once, twice. Sold to Siva. Thank you.
This is a Banana Hut gift card. I don't know who, does it go with something or it's from somebody here? It's Damme. Okay, thank you. So $50 at the Banana Hut. If you haven't had Banana Hut food, their spam musubi is a thing of beauty, but they have other stuff too.
It's sushi spam.
It is sushi spam.
Do we have a $100 or a $50?
It's a fundraiser.
Let's go.
It's for the
It is a
Rotary
fundraiser. This will go toward your Paul Harris.
50.
50 here.
$100.
100 over here.
Thanks, Sarah.
So thank you, Sarah.
Okay. Okay, and keeping again with our alcoholic tendencies, Michael Boring. I mean alcohol tendencies, not alcoholic.
That gift represents a lot of research on my part. I live in Portland now, arguably one of the great beer centers of the world, or at least of this country. And near me in Multnomah Village is the epicenter of craft beers. So I went to the beer sommelier, Dirty Doug, that's his name, and got a assortment of 13 beers that you will find nowhere else but in Oregon. And they are really unusual beers, but the best of what Oregon has to offer. It's meant to be a beer tasting party, so that's what it's about.
The bottles are full, right?
Well, yeah, and these are big bottles.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that
big bottles.
I wanted to make sure this wasn't just the leftovers from your
We have a
research.
bid of 100 here to Lori. 150. 150 to Allison. 200 to Lori.
225.
225. 250 to Craig. 250 to Craig. Going once. Going twice. 250 to Craig. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
Craig, can I come over later?
Oh, we have 2 more. So this is
2 more.
The ultimate travel kit. Nice to meet you, Travis. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Travis. Travis has to get to school.
Craig Fox. So there are snacks. There's an RFID protected money belt, a power strip, an adapter, an inflatable neck pillow, a vacuum container to keep your drink hot or cold, leather passport holder, wineskin. Pack this, the ultimate checklist. Oh, that's very cool. I like this. Doorstop, alarm, and luggage locks. And of course, because it's our club and it's Ed, we have little travel bottles of liquor. Okay.
So who's taking a trip? $100 up the bids.
Okay.
$100 to Lori. Did I see a hand up here?
No, Lori's taking.
Lori's taking. Where are you going, Lori? $100.
Hawaii in 2 weeks.
Awesome. Enjoy.
All right, are we done with that? All right, we have one more. And Scott, can we save your wine for next time? Yep. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is from Charlie. Claiborne and Churchill is a small family-owned vineyard. There's wine. The Cuvée Elizabeth Dry Rosé has been a staple in their wine repertoire. There are also some solar lights and some daffodil growing kits. So it's kind of, you can plant for spring and drink your wine while you watch the bulbs.
That's the long game. Do we have $100?
It comes with that nice copper pot.
Right here to Deb. $100 to Deb. Any other takers? Who loves daffodils? Cam. 150. Deb, you want still in on this? 175. 175. 2. Going once. Going twice. 2 to Cam.
Okay. Checks to the Rotary Foundation, drop them with me. Nick will swipe your card should you desire to pay. And thank you for your creativity. 2150. Wow. A record. So the next month is our last final Friday of this calendar year. We're going to hold over Scott's wine. The rest of you know who you are. And thanks everybody for being smart, creative, and funny with your ideas. And generous with your check.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
I'm sorry that I didn't get to tell you a little bit more about this because it was Final Friday. Tuesday, the Rotary Club, this club will be honored at the Board of Supervisors for Domestic Violence Month. Please look in your email. The more Rotarians that show up at the event at 9 o'clock on Tuesday, the better. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. We have a beer and cheese pairing. Duncan, I have an idea to increase enrollment. At UC Davis, they actually have a professor of malting and brewing sciences. Go ahead! And Charlie Bramford will be up here on the 7th Saturday, and there'll be cheese from Cypress Grove, beer from all our breweries, and he is an entertaining gentleman. We have tables of 8, $40 a ticket. Benefits our College and Career Center.
I want to let you know.
This is a fun night. If you haven't been there, this is awesome.
I've heard him 2 times speak, and it's amazing.
Sounds like must go. All right. All right, and we have a flag exchange, yes?
Yeah.
All right, come on up. Probably a little bit late. While we're waiting for Nick, is there any other announcements anyone would like to make in the club?
Was not the
I had like 50 already. All right, perfect. Let's see, I'll go to the club and all that's waiting, announcements, and then I stole Rachel's slide, so.
The quote is so good.
Change you wish to see in the world. This quote, and there's Rachel, changing the world, one piece of trash at a time.
Yep. And some vases and bowls, shoes.
Everything else. All right, looks like he's got it.
You found a TV?
They found a TV.
Oh, and there's stuff on the tables. There's some Rotary DVDs that are public service announcements and mouse pads. We're cleaning out the cabinet. And so take them or we're out of here.
If you cut the mouse pads up into small squares, you can put them under your furniture legs.
Let's do it. There we are. Photo op.
Hold on, my flash is charging.
Where's your flag from? Where's it?
You need more time.
There we go.
All right, thank you very much. All right, thanks for sticking around. We went a little over today, but we got a lot of stuff done, and we have a record auction and a lot of other great things. So thank you, Rotarians. We'll see you all next Friday. We did it.